Layne Lyons, JD. She's a lawyer and legal expert for over 25 years and has helped a lot of women build their businesses. Layne also speaks on stages across the country, empowering women to level up their business, own their voice, and live big. And she's also an avid hiker, a hobby meteorologist, and a full-time nomad. So I'm so excited to have you here on the show, Layne. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me, Kristy. I'm really excited to be on the show. And welcome everyone listening. So as Kristy mentioned, my name is Layne Lyons. I'm a lawyer and a legal expert for entrepreneurs looking to grow their businesses with confidence and peace of mind. And I'm also the creator of the Legal Umbrella Method. It's my job to help you stay dry and protected in your business, even if you get caught in the rain. You see, I believe that you can't grow a successful business when you're in fear. So I use my 25 years of experience as a lawyer to help entrepreneurs add legal foundations to their businesses so that they totally and completely protect themselves, their businesses, and all their hard work. And because I know that legal stuff can often be overwhelming and intimidating for people, I make everything simple, straightforward, and easy to understand. And as Kristy was saying, I love helping entrepreneurs get their businesses protected, because when you get those key foundational pieces in order, it puts out the welcome mat in your business to a bigger, more profitable, and definitely more predictable business. Plus, it gives you peace of mind knowing that all your hard work and investments are protected. So that's what I do. I believe that when we're in fear, we can't grow. I come at it from the positive. We all want to build our businesses, right? That's why we're all being entrepreneurs, and certainly why everyone's tuned in to the podcast. So let's figure out today together how we can get out of fear so that we can continue to grow our businesses.
That is so awesome. I like it when you said you help entrepreneurs have peace of mind, because that is so important, because you cannot run your business without peace of mind, because you will have, like, every day you do your business, you have fear of something, fear of someone, right? So it's so important to really have that peace of mind, and I appreciate that you do that. So how did you get into the legal business?
Sure. Okay. So, well, first of all, I've been a lawyer for 25 years. So, and you can imagine in that time, I've had a lot of different jobs as a lawyer. When I first got out of school back in 1995, I graduated from Duke Law School. And when I first got out, I started working as a prosecutor, as a district attorney in a division that at the time was called sex crimes. It's now called special victims. And I worked in an arena where all of I was prosecuting crimes where all of the victims of the crimes, it was all sexual abuse crimes, and they were mostly children. And I really kind of saw the seedy part of our society, and it was a really serious job. After that, I went out on my own and opened up my own boutique law firm representing the rights of children in court, specializing in divorces where children's voices were not being heard. You know, divorces that were very angry and contentious, where the child was just getting treated like a pawn. So I specialized in that. And life was going along great. I had my own firm. I had a nice staff. I really loved it. And then I got sick. Really, the essence of it, the short version is I got burned out physically and I got exhausted. And I ended up in a wheelchair, motorized wheelchair, without the use of my arms or my legs, with what doctors called fatigue.
Yeah.
So I went on an 8-year healing quest. My husband and I went all around the globe to hospitals. I stayed in hospitals for a month in Switzerland, a month in Mexico, all over the US, and I tried everything. And the biggest need, and eventually, the spoiler alert, I healed, right? You know, 13 doctors said I would never walk again. 2 of them told my husband to prepare for me not being here the following year. But spoiler alert, they were wrong. Just last winter, I spent in the Andes in Ecuador, hiking the Andes. So sometimes they don't know what they're talking about. And the biggest needle mover for me in all of the different alternative treatments that I did to my body in order to heal myself, the biggest needle mover I found was food. was diet. And, Kristy and I are always talking about the importance of food and organic, yummy food. We talk about travel and where we can get the best food. That's sort of like our, behind the scenes, we're always talking about the importance of food and health. And when I discovered for myself firsthand the importance of food, I went back to school and I got certified as a nutrition coach. And I started teaching women how to increase their energy so that they wouldn't get burned out the way that I had, so that they wouldn't end up with fatigue the way I had. And life was going great. There I was, helping women at the top of my game, being a health coach, really making a difference in my client's life. And that is when I made a huge mistake. An opportunity to partner with another coach came along.
Nice.
And even though I knew better, I'm a lawyer for Pete's sake, I entered into the working agreement with her, the working relationship with her, with no written agreement. And I mean, I know why I did it. The same reason why we all do that. I felt like we were on the same wavelength. I felt like I could trust her. I didn't want to be difficult, right? I was in this arena where I didn't want to lawyer up and just start feeling like everything was so warm and friendly. I didn't want to bring this cold, difficult energy of contracts into it before I knew contracts can be warm and fuzzy. And so I went into the relationship with her with no written agreement. And of course, you can guess what happened. I got completely burned. All of my content stolen, all of the money I invested gone, and all of my hard work down the drain. And of course, immediately I was like shocked, right? The first thing I felt was,
for sure, yeah.
How could this even be happening? Here it was, we weren't partners, but we were collaborators, and we were really working together for months together. So the first thing, of course, I was shocked. And then I think I felt kind of angry, but pretty quickly, in like typical me style, I got motivated. And I sat down right then and there, and I wrote all of the contracts that I wished I would have had with her. Everything that I would have needed to have with her to protect me in writing. And when I was finished with that, I sat down and I started drafting all of the contracts that every entrepreneur needs to protect herself, all of her hard work, and her whole entire business. And that's how I got started. It came out of a story, I got burnt and I learned this terrible lesson, but it really was the catalyst for me dedicating the entire rest of my career, ever since then, my whole career, to protecting entrepreneurs and making sure that they don't make that same mistake that I made and go into a relationship any relationship without a written agreement.
That is so true. And I love that what you experienced before your mistake, I don't know if it's a failure or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
You learn from that, and it has become your passion to help other people as well. So it's kind of like, you just don't want to help people because you want to make money, but you want to help people because you don't want people to, have the same experience like what you had, right?
Definitely.
So I really like that. So I just want to go back to what you mentioned earlier. You said that you had a fatigue back when you were first starting out your business. So why do you think you had a fatigue before? Like, what was the cause of that?
Yeah, I think that when I was practicing as a courtroom lawyer, so both as a district attorney and then in my own firm representing children, that's a really serious job. Those are kids, in both cases, both children who were victims of sexual abuse, unfortunately, and children who were finding themselves in the middle of a terrible divorce. That's a really serious job. And I took that responsibility really seriously. So I slept like never. Wow. I ate whatever was on my desk. I remember having a drawer in my office in the courthouse. I had a drawer full of Hershey Kisses. And I would run back to my desk. Currently now I haven't had any refined sugar I just had my 10-year anniversary.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. No sugar, no wheat for 10 years. But there I was in my 20s with a drawer full of Hershey Kisses. And I used to eat whatever was, whatever's in the courthouse vending machines was like what I would still be there at midnight working, burning my candle at both ends and eating whatever was in, tons and tons of cups of coffee, like just coffee all day, no water. Right. This is back in the 90s before we knew how important water is.
And people will say that coffee is water. It's water.
Sure,
put coffee.
Sure. Right. It's got water. That's liquid that counts. So, but we know better. So yeah, I ate whatever there was on the go, usually standing up at my desk. I never slept. Like I would get 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night because I was working hard on cases. I had to be in court again the next morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. And all of that stress, that whole responsibility for all of those kids was like on me. It was on me. And I was just a kid trying to manage all of it. And so I burned myself out from my lifestyle, from not taking good care of myself. And I think a big part of how I had to untangle, you heard me talk about untangling, getting healed using food, but I also had to untangle all of that stress.
That's true.
I had to learn how to run a business, just like what you teach people, Kristy, how to run a business without having it run your life. Without having it make you so stressed out that you physically get sick, that you burn out your body and you get sick because you're so involved in your business. And so I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. And the way I run my business now, similar to what you teach people, Kristy, is to be balanced, to have a work-life harmony so that I still get my stuff, all my work done. I still serve all my clients, but I also take a lunch break. I actually stop. Get away. I don't eat at my desk anymore, even if it's just a 30-minute lunch break. I get up, I walk around the block, I get some fresh air, I get something fresh to eat, and then I come back to work. We have to take care of ourselves as entrepreneurs. Otherwise, we won't be here to keep working, right?
That's really true. I love how you kind of answered my questions in mind that I have not asked you yet. I love it. So what would you say to like those people or those entrepreneurs who are just so afraid to let go of the projects that they have, the tasks that they have, because they're afraid of losing control of their business. They just don't want to ask help from other people. They would rather die from working in their business rather than asking help from people.
Yeah, that is a great question, and something that I had to learn firsthand. I would tell them, you can't do it all. You have to recognize that you're just not an expert in everything. And by building a team of people around you who are experts in everything that they bring to your business, you're able to sustain your business. So for example, I get a lot of clients who come to me and say, well, I put together my own contract, right? I looked at this contract and that contract and I put it together myself. And they'll say, can I send you my contract and you let me know if it's good? And one of my biggest pet peeves is people spending money when they don't have to. So if somebody's got a great contract that's ready to go, I want to be able to review it, analyze it, and tell them, you did a great job, you're good to go. But usually 98% of the time I get that contract and it's not good. Why? Because you're not an expert in writing contracts. You're not an expert in doing graphic design. I mean, maybe you are, maybe that is your business. But let's say that it's not your business, right? Let's say that you're some other kind of an entrepreneur. And let's say that you run a VA agency. You're not an expert in legal contracts. You're not an expert in graphics. And maybe you're not an expert in copywriting or social media. So when you bring people onto your team who are experts in all of these, and then you bring in a VA to help coordinate all of it, what the entrepreneur listening will free up their time to be able to do the tasks and jobs that are in their sweet spot, the things that they are great at, right? Like I'm great at writing contracts. I'm great at being a lawyer. I'm not great at graphic design. I'm not great. And my time is not best spent scheduling meetings. I have help to schedule meetings. I have helped to coordinate all of my schedules, to go through my inbox and help me delegate out my inbox, figure out which are the things that do need my attention. Legal questions I have to answer. Scheduling questions, we can have a VA answer that for us.
That's true.
So that's my number one advice is you are not an expert in everything. You have to build a dream team around you to be able to support your business if you want it to grow.
Yeah, I like when you said that you should know what you can do and what you cannot do, right? Because I believe that we only have so much attention to give and energy to give. Might as well give that attention or energy to something that is really, valuable to you, important to you, right? We only have like 24 hours in a day. So make
Yeah,
sure that you make the most out of your time.
yeah, yeah. And then you know what that does? What I like to think of it like a wheel. And if I try to do everything, all the things for my business, then I'm robbing someone else from doing the things that, let me explain. So by me saying I'm not good, I'm not an expert in graphic design, that employs somebody who is an expert in graphic design
That's
and let
true.
her do her job. And that gives somebody else an opportunity who is passionate about it.
Yeah.
So each time that it's almost like selfless versus if you, I mean, it's not exact. It's almost like you're being selfish if you're saying, I'm going to do all these jobs, because there's other people who need it, who can do that job, do it better, faster, and more efficiently than you, who you're going to be able to give a job to.
You're right. And not only you're being selfish, but you are also being prideful because you don't want to ask help from other people, right? So, well, this is really good, Layne. I love it. I have another question for you. So I want to go back to the word that you mentioned earlier, peace of mind. Why
Mhm.
do you think people or business owners do not have peace of mind in their business?
Yeah. So the biggest thing that I see is when people are setting up a business or running a business and they're always looking over their shoulder, worrying that something that they're doing or not doing is going to come back and bite them in the buns legally and get them into legal hot water. That's like this low level of anxiety that's present all the time. Every time that a business owner shares content out there on the internet, or writes a blog post or shares her best freebies, she knows, let's just say it's a woman, she knows that that content isn't protected. So she knows as she's hitting launch, she's kind of putting out this energy. I can explain it like, I hope everyone sees this article, and I hope no one sees this article. I hope nobody steals it. Blog stealing happens if you don't protect yourself. So it's like this half in, half out feeling of your business. And I think people can feel that. So similarly, when you sign up a new client and you send them your contract to start working with you, your agreement, and you're not proud of your agreement, and you really have a lot of doubts about whether it's covering you legally or not. And you send that contract to that new client when you're onboarding her. And on the one hand, you're thinking, oh, I'm so excited to sign up this client and get this cash in my pocket and get another client to work for. But on the other hand, you're thinking, oh God, I hope she just signs it and doesn't even read it, because I don't even know what the heck it says. And I really hope she doesn't come back and ask me anything about that whole paragraph on this whole paragraph at the end, because I don't even know what it means. I don't even know what the word liability means, and it's in my contract. And
That's
what
true.
so there's like this energy, this kind of fear when you're looking over your shoulder the whole time with this background anxiety of, I can't raise my prices because I don't know how I'm going to secure my payment plans. I can't go say yes to the bigger opportunities because I'm not ready for growth in my business because I don't even have the foundation set up. When you have those foundational pieces set up, you're able to go for the bigger opportunities. You're able to raise your prices, to share your content freely, to share your best tips out there, to sign up new clients, because you have this confidence and this peace of mind knowing that your solid foundations at the base level of your business are all set up so that you can get out there and grow your business with the confidence and the peace of mind, because you're set up from success from that foundational level.
That is so true. That's so good. Yeah. Like when I started my business, the very first thing that I created, so I was the one who created my contracts, you know, to make sure that I'm protected. Because if I don't have contracts, like I have VAs working for me, I have NDAs, like non-disclosure agreement,
Right.
I need to make sure that I'm protected from my client and from the people who are working for me. And if I don't have those things, settled, then I wouldn't have the peace of mind that I have right now.
Right.
which now that I'm talking to you, I kind of feel like I should have Layne check my contracts.
I'd be happy to. I'd be happy to.
So,
There are really specific things in each industry that we want to make sure. And just what you're saying is more of an advanced contract, right? Having people
right.
work for you. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're signing up a new client and you don't have the things in your contract, most people's contracts cover the basics, right? They have to make it easy to work with you, easy to sign up, right? So they usually cover what's included in my services, what are the fees, how long are we going to work together for? They usually get that part handled pretty well. Are we going to communicate between sessions? Am I available by email? Do we use Zoom? Do we use Asana? Do we use Voxer? All of those things are usually pretty handled. But what's not handled in most of the contracts almost all of the contracts that I see, and I'm betting that yours, Kristy, may have some holes in what I consider
I'm
the
pretty sure.
back half of the contract, which is the part that talks about what's going to happen if things don't go according to the beautiful plan that you created of working with you. Like, what happens in the event of the things that happen if it goes off track, like refunds and
Yeah.
chargebacks and missed payments? And what happens if we want to terminate working together? One person, or nobody thought they would want to get out of their contracts. None of my entrepreneurs until COVID came. And then
Mm-hmm.
we realized that
Right.
a lot of my clients could not perform some of the services that they had already been paid for. Any in-person work had to stop. So we need to have sections in the contract that deal with getting out of the contract if we need to. What happens if there's a dispute? None of us like to think about this, right? We get into a contract with somebody, into a working relationship, and we
Yeah.
like to focus on the positive. We like to focus on everything's going to go well. But what happens is if you don't protect yourself in the beginning and set things up at the outset before you start working together, and then you do happen to get into some kind of a dispute, of course you want to try to resolve it amicably. And that's written into all of my
Right.
contracts. We will try to resolve it amicably. But if we can't resolve it amicably, then every single one of my contracts has an arbitration clause. So what does that mean? That means that we both agree that nobody can sue each other, that we're going to go to arbitration to resolve the conflict instead. Arbitration, I'm here in California, you're in Ohio. Arbitration in Ohio is like $1,000 for the entire thing. And going to court is $20,000 on day one before you've even stepped foot in the courthouse door. And it only goes up from there. So by having an arbitration clause, you can see immediately, okay, that protects me. Also, limits on liability, meaning liability means how much you're responsible if somebody uses your services and has a negative result. They want to come back and blame you. So we want to make sure that you're protected. There's a limit on how much someone can blame you in case they use your information, your expertise, and they don't have the result that they're looking for. In contracts with the women that you're working with, Kristy, it would be important to have a section in there that says, I'm not responsible for the results that you get.
Yeah.
So I'm not responsible if you don't get results. I'm not responsible if you hire one of my VAs and you don't increase your earnings, what's called future earnings. That you're not, that there's no, by working with one of your VAs, it's important to say, by working with one of your VAs or by working with you, there's no guarantee of future earnings. We want to make that clear so that at the outset, we set these things up at the beginning so that no one can come back and blame us and then try to collect money, or what in the law is called damages, if they don't get the result that they were hoping for. We make it clear at the beginning that results are not guaranteed. Of course, we're going to try our darndest to get them results.
That's true, yeah.
Results are not guaranteed.
That's true. I feel like I'm getting a free consultation right now. I'm loving it. So I have a question for you. So everything is available online right now, even, contracts. Just Google it, like contract for VA, blah, blah, blah. Do you think people should, or business owners should rely on those online contract templates? Or do you think they need to hire someone or consult with someone to check their contracts?
Yeah, that is a great question, and one that I get every week. So here's the thing. First of all, I cannot tell you how many nightmares I have heard about those big box online contracts. Nightmares. They've got There are lots and lots of legal, what I call legalese or gobbledygook language that you have no idea what it means, and you have nobody you can ask. So I like working with my clients to give them contracts that are, first of all, written in plain English. I call it girlfriend English. So every single word in all of my contracts is in plain English, because I know not only is it important for you to understand what's in your contract, but you're going to be giving it to your clients. And if your client comes back to you and says, Kristy, I'm ready to sign on. I'm ready to give you my first payment, but I just don't understand what paragraph 7 means. And you read the contract and you don't understand what paragraph 7 means either. That's not going to start off the relationship with trust and confidence. That's going to make her say, well, I don't know what else Kristy doesn't know. That's going to cause a lot of doubt. So that's first of all. First of all, the first reason why I think it's a no-no to go with big box legal is because there's nobody there to help you, to support you. I can't tell you how many nightmares I have heard. I won't name names because a good lawyer never fixes and tells. But you can think of the biggest legal house that you see online when you Google contracts for VAs.
Right.
Nightmares. People want to use them to create like an LLC, and they'll be stuck in this hamster wheel for 6 months with no answers with anybody, and all their money is just gone. And then they have to come to me to fix it. So I get all the people coming to fix it. So 1, there's no support. 2, there's all kinds of legal language in there that you don't know what it means, and you can't ask anyone what it means. And 3, and probably the biggest reason, the most important reason I saved for last, and that is that your contract has to be specifically tailored to the kind of work that you do. So when we just buy something online, it's a one size fits all. So I'll often get a coach come to me, let's say she's a business coach, and she comes to me with a contract that she got online, and it's talking all about, I'm not a doctor, I don't heal or cure illnesses. Why are we talking about, I don't diagnose, treat, cure, or heal illnesses in a contract where you're providing web design services? So the average person doesn't know when they get one of those big box online contracts what to look for, what specifically they need to include in their contract. I know exactly what needs to go in a contract for a VA.
Right.
It's very specific things that are set up differently from other coaches. And when you get something online, you just don't know what you're getting. It's like a mystery box. And then the problem is, because as we were saying at the top of the call, you're not an expert in reading contracts. You don't even know if it's good for you. You can't even determine, even after you've read it 5 times, if you can get through it 5 times, you can't even determine if it's got all the pieces in it that you need in order to protect you.
That's true.
Almost never see a homemade contract or a contract that comes from big box legal that's robust enough and solid enough and tailored to your specific industry enough for me to sign off on it. So
that's true. It's really important that you yourself, business owner, understands what's in your contract.
Yes.
Because if you don't, it's gonna create a whole lot of mess once your client, did something or something unexpected happened. So I have a question for you before we wrap it up with my final question. Okay. So my other question is, there's a lot of we are very digital nowadays. Like before, when you sign a contract, you sign it with with an actual paper and with a pen, right? But nowadays you can just go online, upload your digital signature, or there's also a tool where you can just type in your name and then that's it. So what are those kind of things like valid? Will it protect people?
Yeah, that is a great question. So the contract has to specifically say that e-signatures are valid and that the contract can be completed in what's called counterparts, meaning you sign your half of the contract there in Ohio, you send it to me in California, I sign my half in California. So completed separately. So the contract has to specifically say that e-signatures are a valid form for this contract and that it can be completed in 2 sections, 2 parts. So that normally what happens in order, like when you're signing a mortgage for your house, everybody's in the room together. Everybody's true. Around a table, everybody's got the pen, we sign, and everybody's witnessing each other signing it. So e-signatures are valid if the contract says e-signatures are valid.
Awesome.
Gotta
So
be
much
written.
value. I have learned a lot.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Oh my gosh. I need to book a consultation with you.
Please do.
So,
Please. And I want to offer anyone on the call a free consultation.
yeah.
I will audit your contract. So you can just go to bookwithlayne.com. It's bookwithlayne, LAYNE.com, or you can just go to my website, LayneLyons.com. You'll see it there. I'm happy to do for all of your listeners, Kristy, I'm happy to do an audit and a free 30-minute consult to talk about, free and no obligation. I'm on a mission. After I got burnt, as I was explaining, I'm on a mission to protect every entrepreneur I can, who I can come into contact with. So if I'll get on a call with you, and if your contracts are good, I'll let you know. If there's something little that we need to tweak in it, we'll just tweak it. And if you need to start from scratch, I'll hold your hand the whole way through.
Ah, that is so sweet. All right, so let's wrap it up with my final question. What would you say to entrepreneurs or business owners who'd love to have freedom in their business and more flexibility?
Yeah, so when you're in fear, you can't grow. When you're in fear, you can't grow your business. And you need to have legal foundations in your business to set you up so that you're not looking over your shoulder worrying, but instead you have confidence and peace of mind, which is going to give you freedom to grow your business bigger, to raise your prices, to put your best content out there, to build your whole social media and online presence with confidence. And all of that is going to give you freedom and flexibility.
Awesome. I would say amen to that.
Woo!
Woo! All right. So I know you already mentioned your website and your Instagram handle. Is there anything else like online platform that people can reach out to you?
Yeah, going to my website is the best way. You can always find me on Facebook. But yeah, going to my website is the very best way. And my Instagram is Layne Lyons JD.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Layne, for being with me today on the show. I so appreciate it. It's very different, so much wisdom, so much value. And I want to encourage everyone, like all my listeners, to go and visit Layne's website, to have your free consultation and to have a free audit on your contracts. And also, um, if you feel like you are not secured in your business right now, you don't have peace of mind because you have fears right now, you know what? Just get over those fear and ask help from other people, just like Layne, right?
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Layne, for your time. It's great having you.
Thank you for the invitation.
Bye.
Bye.